All right, everybody, look, we're now standing in front of the cannons at the fort in Port Royal. And wait, watcha, look at this group of people coming down here. Miss, can you imagine I'm in Port Royal, 2026, in Jamaica, and look at these pirates coming down the street. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Hi. Hi. Do you mind? I'm doing a video. You can walk through. Yeah, I'm doing it for YouTube. So if y'all want to just, yeah, hey, say hi to my channel. Hi. Thank you. Hi. Thank you. Hi. Thank you ever so much. Yay. Thank you.
There be some money.
All right. Thank you very much.
Aye.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I'm standing up right here in a Port Royal, Jamaica in 2026 and some pirate just walked by me. Who would have thunk it? But yeah. This is Pirates Week in Port Royal in Jamaica, so I guess that was happening, but I'm glad I got to see it. Anyway, today I'm in Port Royal because I want to show you what Port Royal looks like right now. And while we're going through, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history and to talk about the earthquake that killed it and swallowed the whole of Port Royal. So, hello everybody. My name is Claudette and I am your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Today I'm taking you to one of the most fascinating places in all of Jamaica. You see, as a little girl, I used to come over here because my grandfather was a fisherman. So I've been coming here since I was about 10 years old? And I used to run up and down Port Royal, and it looks vastly different than it looks now. So, before we go any further, if you enjoy this kind of content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below and tell me, what do you know about Port Royal? Make sure you tap that notification bell so you never miss when I post. Anyway, let me take you way back. So, you see, before the gold, before the rum, before the pirates, and the chaos that took over Port Royal, it was just a quiet little Taino fishing village. And I know who the Taino was. They were the first people that inhabited Jamaica. They had small huts along the shore. They had nets drying in the sun. And the children was just running about happily. Swimming in the water, they had a simple, peaceful life. Until the Europeans came. First the Spanish come, and then the British people come. And then after that, everything just changed and turned upside down. So by the mid-1600s, the British take over Jamaica from the Spanish. But them couldn't hold on to it. You know why? The island was wild. It was open to attack from every direction. And the British people, them needed men who could control the seas. So what did they do? They made a deal with the pirates. Men who knew these waters like the back of their own hands. Men who were willing to raid, plunder, and fight in exchange for gold and freedom. And after that, Port Royal became their home. And from a quiet fishing village, it became the most powerful port in the entire Caribbean. Miss say, ship used to crowd the harbor, sails snapping in the wind. Cannons primed and ready. Spanish towns were raided. Treasures were seized and the spoils were carried back here to Port Royal, where the city was full of wealth and danger. The taverns shook with music and laughter. Rum flowed like water. Fight broke out over kind, over insult, over absolutely nothing at all. Merchants, sailors, pirates, thieves, all of them in the same street doing business, making deals, watching them back. Them say if you want to find trouble in the Caribbean, Port Royal would give you 10 times more than you bargained for. And the people loved it. Every ship that came in brought more gold, more rum, more chaos, and the city grew richer and wilder with every single one. And at its peak, Port Royal had more taverns per square foot than any other city in the entire world. They had one for every 10 people who lived there. And Jamaica was never short of rum. Huh? Come inside. Okay. My grandpa used to fish over here. So I used to come to Port Royal a lot when I was a little girl. But I haven't been here in years. Have you lived here all your life? This is your art?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, this one is beautiful. I love this one. This one in particular. With the tear, this one, I love that one. Yeah. And you did all these?
Yes.
Do you advertise them? No? So how do you get customers? People just come over?
Word of mouth.
Huh?
People talk.
Word of mouth, okay. All right, well, I'll put you on my channel because I do have a couple people that follow me. Not a lot yet, I'm working on it. So, what's your name?
Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were born in Portland? I mean, Port Antonio?
Royal.
Port Royal. Okay. I'm so delighted to meet you. So, you make these pickles as well? Okay. Alright. What's so nice? Oh, thank you so very much. Alright, have a good one, Mike. Thank you. You know, I wish I had spoken to this man a little bit more. I wasn't prepared, but it was interesting to see his artwork. I should have congratulated him more on it, but here, you know, it was my first interview. I guess I was a little bit shy, but I was grateful that he gave me the opportunity to talk to him. And if you're ever here in Port Royal, come check him out. He's right on the main street in Agamis. All right? He sells all these beautiful paintings and spices. All right? His name is Mike. So, out of all of the man them, all of the parrot them, you have one that him was top of all of them. You don't call him the dandada. Henry Morgan. No, Henry Morgan was somebody else totally. He was smart. He was brave. Him never afraid of nobody. He raided fleets. Him run through the old town. Him carry home barrels of gold. And the British crown was so impressed by him and him thief himself. They making a knight. They made him a knight. Imagine that. So he became Sir Henry Morgan. This pirate turned lieutenant governor of Jamaica. You want me to say that again? This pirate became the lieutenant governor of Jamaica. You see where it started from? When the criminal... shut up your mouth. Anyway, only Port Royal could produce somebody like that. Well, I don't know about that, you know, because enough of that I go on still. Anyway, moving right along. So, this is a city where the law and the lawless lived side by side, where a pirate could rise to power and still keep one eye on the dagger in the shadows. Sound familiar to anybody? Anyway, keep moving. I told you about the pirates. Let's talk about this earthquake. This earthquake happened in June 7, 1692. June 7, 1692. The morning, you know, nobody was expecting an earthquake because it's not like now when you get warnings and all of that. Them things they never about them time there. All right? So the people them get up. Another sonic Jamaican day. The sea calm. The harbor quiet. People are go about them business. The rum was flowing as usual. The merchants, them selling them things. The children, them are run up and down into the street. Just like a normal day in Port Royal. Until about 11:43 in the morning, the ground jerked. well, earthquakes been happening lately, so I don't know what I talk about. But this time, it's nothing like what we have felt. This was violent. The building them start swing like tree in a hurricane. People start run up and down in the street screaming. The church bell them ring. Nobody never touched them, but them just start ring, billing, gilling, gilling. And then the ground itself turned like liquid. You see, Port Royal was built on loose sand and reclaimed land. So when the earth starts shake, the soil liquefy. This is what scientists call liquefaction. The house them begin sinking straight down into the ground. The street them crack open wide and swallow people. Whole of them swallow the people them. Whole building start slide down sideways into the sea. Eyewitness them say them watch the people disappear right in front of them eye. As if the earth just opened up and swallowed them. And then, as if that was not enough, the sea pulled back from the shore, a warning nobody understood in time. And this time it just go back and come back, so boof, and just swallow up everybody. Yeah? Ships were torn from their anchors. The building them mash up. Them sweep away people in less than 2 minutes. 2/3 of Port Royal was underwater. Over 2,000 people were lost. One survivor said that the sea swallowed the land and the land swallowed the people. Another one said him see a whole street disappear so fast that the roof of the house was the only thing that he could see floating upon the water. And just like that, the wickedest city on earth was gone. Now, back in those days, a lot of people believed the earthquake was God's punishment. They said that Port Royal had lived so wickedly. It was so full of sin and gold and lawlessness that judgment had finally come. But was it really? Or was it just nature? Was it the simple danger of building a city on sand? Nobody knows. But what we do know is that today, the underwater half of Port Royal is still there, preserved like a time capsule beneath the sea. Archaeologists have dived among streets that are frozen exactly as they were in 1692. Tables are still set, bottles still on shelves, buildings still standing upright beneath the water. The chaos, the wealth, the danger, all of it suspended in time. A reminder of how fast everything can change. Anyway, as you can see, life goes on. Port Royal today is quiet in a way that its past never was, except for when the Tainos were here, of course. It is still a small fishing community, tight, close, with a history bigger than most cities, 10 times its size has. When I walked these streets, I saw the old and the new sitting right next to each other. And I will be honest with you, I did not expect to see a pig enjoying a mud bath right here upon the streets of Port Royal.
Get up and look for me like him want to talk me. I said, where you film me for, mama? You did ask me permission? What you know? Yeah. Yes, boss. I you run things around here. Still up, I see you. Yeah, come never get it. So, I don't feel like saying dead. I want to hold on nothing to him, so. Huh? I'm not circle the pig, I'm not dead.
But guess what? This is Jamaica. And Port Royal is still very much a real living community. It's not a museum. And out on the water, life is still sweet. Port Royal has been so many things, has seen so many things, has endured so many things. A lowly little fishing village, a pirate haven, a city of gold, a city swallowed by the sea, and the most dangerous port in the world. But today it's just a quiet community living on top of one of the most dramatic stories in all of Caribbean history. Most of the people I spoke to here, some of them know the story. They grew up with it. It is part of who they are. Some are transplants, probably not even aware of the history of where they live. But yet life is still so simple here. It's unhurried, the kind of pace that makes you wonder how this place was ever the center of the world. But it was. I always say Jamaica never shows you everything at once. She reveals herself slowly, and Port Royal is exactly that. And on this channel, we'll show you so much more. Because every street in Port Royal has a story. Every stone has seen something. And the sea out there, that same sea, it still holds the other half of the city, waiting. And that is Port Royal. I am Claudette, your Jamaican Gypsy Granny. If this story held you, if you learned something, if Jamaica surprised you today or reminded you of something, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like, share, and leave me a comment below. Tell me, how much of this history did you know? Or did Port Royal surprise you? If you'd like to support the channel, my PayPal link is in the description. Blessings to every one of you. And remember, Jamaica's history is deep, dramatic, and unforgettable. Ciao.